Hi, everyone. I am so happy that you guys jumped on this call and I'm recording. So this is kind of my first time doing everything. So like I said, if you jumped on early, I welcome any feedback and I appreciate it. So thanks for being here. Tonight, we're going to talk about basically easy ways to talk about the programs once you find out people's goals for all of our different Beachbody programs. I'm not going to touch on the super old ones like Slim and Six or Hip Hop Abs, not that they don't have value, but more I feel like, as coaches, we need to stay up to date with the most recent programs in the last couple of years and really what's working for people, just because I feel like the trainers learn more and more and they kind of fine tune each of the programs to be better and better. So not that the old ones aren't great, but I think the new ones do have more value to offer our customers. So like we talk about, it's important not to just look for that sell or what's discounted that month. That's why we encourage you not to just put corporate pictures, for your Facebook posts or whatever, because people can buy that online and they can see it on the infomercials. What's different is you, and it's trying to make something that you can add value to your customer. So if someone does like any of your fitness posts or your personal workout photos or Shakeology or anything like that, we want you to reach out, and I think there are 3 important questions to ask before you offer any sort of program advice at all. The first one is, what are your health and fitness goals? That's a pretty easy one, right? Just if you can get the ball rolling, obviously talk to someone first. Don't just throw the what are your health and fitness goals at them. But I think it's an important question that has to be asked before you mention any form of any sort of program to anyone. And then you're going to ask, how is their nutrition? And talk about that a little bit. And then I think another important question is, what have you liked and disliked in the past? There are a whole slew of other questions, but for me, those seem to be my 3 basic questions. And as they answer, you can kind of go in a different direction with, obviously with what their answers are. So now I'm going to talk about each of the programs based on trainer, and then we can go through and I'll tell you pluses and minuses of each program that I use. And then we can also go through like specific issues. If people have specific issues, I'll try to touch on that too. If you have any questions, you can just type them into the chat function for me and I'll try to answer them that way. Or at the end, I will unmute everyone, or I guess you guys can unmute yourself. I made that an option. And you can ask any questions, okay? So we're gonna start with my favorite of all favorite trainers, my lover, Shaun T. He's my favorite. So obviously we know he has Insanity, he has T25, and then he has a new program, Max 30, which has been a pretty big hit. Insanity is something for someone who is at a more advanced fitness level. They have, some workout goals to hit that are some pretty big goals, but then they also may not have that time. I take that back, they have to have some extra time. The programs range from 35 to 55 minutes, and they're really hard, and there's not a modifier. Programs like T25 are 25 minutes, they're 8 weeks. There is a modifier, Tanya's the modifier, which she's gotten pretty popular from being like that person in his workout programs. And the first 4 weeks are cardio based. The second 4 weeks are more muscular based, strength training based, and you do have to have some equipment for those second 4 weeks. You either have to have a band or you have to have some weight. So for someone traveling, I don't always recommend T25 over that. So our last option for Shaun T is Max 30, which I personally think he's kind of hit it on the head with this one. Yes, it can be more advanced, but because there is that modifier that you can actually see on the screen the entire time, there's a way to have someone who is a beginner start with that. Even if they want no impact, they can do Max 30 and do it successfully. It's also no equipment required. So if someone is on the go a lot and they don't have much time, I feel like this is a great program to get someone started with for Max 30. Okay, the next, and something else, obviously Max 30 now does also have that nutrition aspect, and that's something I think we need to think about as coaches too, because it's not just, add Shakeology to a challenge pack and expect someone to be able to get the results. Like, we really have to be there with them, supporting them with those different ideas. And I think now that we have, this new portion control containers that they can add to any program, I think it's something we really need to think about is, is if it's necessary. I know the Max 30 Nutrition Guide is huge. I think it's awesome just because it has stuff for people on the go. And even if they don't have those containers, you know, it goes through different portion control, but it uses things like 1 cup, half cup. So it is a way for someone to measure at home without having to buy those portion control containers. I think it's a great package. Our next trainer that I wanted to talk about is Autumn. So obviously 21 Day Fix was a huge hit this year, you know, in 2014. I feel like of all the programs that I personally worked with my customers, this was the one that got the best results in the shortest amount of time. I personally have a customer who's lost almost 100 pounds doing the 21 Day Fix, which is obscene to me, right? Like she's been so focused and committed, and she's done 8 rounds of it, and she loves it. So that's something that I think is a great selling point for people who do have more than 50 pounds to lose. It's a great way to get started. It's 21 days. You'll see immediate results. And I think it's another way to kind of support someone if they're nervous about buying, because the way with Beachbody's, 30-day bottom of the bag guarantee, money back guarantee, in 21 days, they aren't seeing any results and they're not liking Shakeology and really aren't fans, I tell people, like, please return it. If after 21 days you aren't feeling any of these results that we've talked about, I don't want you to keep this program either. But I highly doubt that you'll have those results. So that's a way to kind of help give someone that push or that nudge if they're nervous about buying and think it'll just be another program that will sit on the shelf. 21 Day Fix is a great option for that. It's 30 minutes, which we know. It also has low impact, which you can follow the modifier cat, all the way up through doing, Autumn or the people in the back who are doing some pretty crazy moves. There is a way, we do have weights for a majority. I think it's 4 out of the 7 programs you do need to have weights or bands for. And, even some of our coaches like Sarah Lenore, she's gotten to the point where with like the lower fix, she uses a squat bar and loads up a bunch of weight on there. So you can really take it from someone who with low impact, no weight, all the way up to people who are just trying to like chisel, basically, either lose those last 5 pounds or get to the point where their fitness is right where it needs to be and they just want to take it up to that next level to really get to a point that maybe they've not been able to get to before with any of the other programs. Which leads us into 21 Day Fix Extreme. I know it hasn't come out yet, and I know I think Sarah's the only one on this call who's been able to see an actual 21 Day Fix Extreme workout. Like I was able to do it at Super Saturday. Hopefully if any of you went, you stayed for that workout portion of it. But it's recommended for people who have an event to go to, like a wedding or vacation, because it's pretty strict. Like, 21 Day Fix, the portion control containers of it, you were able to have little things like wine and chocolate. The 21 Day Fix Extreme, that's off the table. Like it's a very detailed portion control nutrition type of system. And, the moves are still very simple. It's 30 minutes just like before, but it's taken it up another notch. So for people like Autumn who are, doing the weightlifting competition or the bodybuilding competitions and things like that, it's supposedly a big part of the program that she does to prepare for her events. Like I said before, the portion control containers, this seems to be the way that people have gotten the most success, just because they were eating healthy or what they thought was eating healthy, and they were just eating too much of the wrong food. And this is such a simple program to kind of help people tune that in an easy way without having to weigh anything or measure. The other thing I wanted to mention, sorry to back up a little bit, but I know they talked about our on-demand program that's going to be coming up and being released to our elite coaches in February, or actually like next week. And then if you hit Success Club this month, you also get to see the on-demand programs. And then for our customers, they're rolling it out in spring. And Insanity will be on that on-demand program. Also, the next trainer I wanted to talk about is Tony Horton. All of his programs, except for I think P90 and then some of like Tony and the Kids or Tony and the Folks, those won't be on there. But P90X, P90X2, and P90X3 will all be on that on-demand option if you're a club member. So you can still sell club member challenge packs is what they're saying. So if someone does think they want to do the whole, P90X type of system, you basically get those 3 programs for one cost of a club challenge pack. P90X3 is the only program I've personally done all the way through. And it's 30 minutes. It's definitely advanced. It's not for the beginner. Yes, they have a modifier in it, but from my experience with it and from my customers, it's not something for someone that I would recommend as a beginner. P90 is something that's a lower impact that supposedly you can be at the beginning of your of your program, of your beginning of your start for your fitness, and it will work well. I haven't gotten as much feedback on that. I know there's some other coaches, but P90, if someone really likes Tony Horton and wants to take it down a notch from P90X or P90X3, there would be your option for that. For older people, I would say like 65 plus, maybe I guess you could even say 50 plus, who have, arthritis issues or other things like that. He has a program called Tony and the Folks that I've heard good things about, but in general, I tend to recommend low impact programs like PIO or 21 Day Fix with a modifier for people who are older. Okay, so the next trainer I wanted to talk about was Shailene. Everyone seems to love Shailene's energy, and if you have a customer who likes Zumba, I don't even know if I'm saying that the right way, Zumba, or dancing kind of stuff, if Shaun T is a little too much for them, Shailene's a great option just because Turbo Fire is fun, and it's kind of high impact. She's got great music. That's one complaint I've also heard about Shaun T's programs, because I love all these, obviously, his programs, but there's not good music is what some of my dancey type of customers like to say. And people don't feel that way with Turbo Fire. She has, Turbo Fire, and then she is Shailene Extreme, or and then she also has PIO, which was another program that came out this last year. PIO is definitely a good program, at least from the experience of myself and my customers, for people who want low impact, if they're Pilates yoga lovers, but aren't strict to that mentality. Like if you have someone who's strictly into Pilates, they may not love it. The same thing. Someone strictly into yoga, they may not love it, because she kind of puts a spin on it, puts it into a fitness type of perspective where you're doing moves that are a combination of both. I have one coach, she's actually in the call. She's lost a ton of weight doing PIO. I'm really proud of her. 3 cheers for Mallory. But in general, I feel like your nutrition has to be on point if you want to lose weight doing PIO, which would include Shakeology. So it is low impact. It is a way for someone who really doesn't want any sort of like high cardio program. And it's also a good program in regards to, you will sweat and you will be sore, but it won't be from bouncing around and doing any impact on your joints. You also can get really toned up in your arms. I feel like it's because a lot of the PIO moves, there's a lot of good arm strength type of stuff to define like that. Turbo Fire is something else. We're going to touch on the pregnancy thing just because I feel like a lot of us have customers who are pregnant or maybe coming off of a pregnancy. And Turbo Fire, I've talked to one of my midwives and also to some doulas, and supposedly Turbo Fire has some really awesome moves to help with pelvic floor issues. So if you have any customers who ever say anything about, a weak pelvic floor or wanting to work on basically postpartum issues like that, or even during pregnancy. I personally did Turbo Fire during my pregnancy, and I thought it was great. They do have a modifier in there who has a lot of awesome energy. She's a lot of fun. And so that's a good program to recommend for pregnant women. I also did T25 while I was pregnant. I think it's another great program. And I also did 21 Day Fix. The only thing, if you're talking to someone about 21 Day Fix with their nutrition, I would obviously have them speak to their doctor or their care provider, especially if they're nursing. You need to think about, the extra calories. Every woman's different. I know we've talked about this in Team Bodyburn a couple times, but in general, the rule I like to go by is 50 calories per nursing session, up to 500 calories, but that's not a hard and fast rule. I think it's important to worry more about supply and nursing versus losing weight. Obviously, this is my opinion. And so that's something that has to be really not taken lightly, trying to lose weight while nursing. So, obviously be an open book, but always kind of recommend your customers to talk to someone that has done this before or to talk to their care provider. Okay, next program, Les Mills Pump and Combat. I think these programs are awesome, but we are in the process, Team Beachbody is in the process of discontinuing our relationship with Les Mills. Both Les Mills Pump and Combat will be available on demand. But Pump is a great program, in my opinion, for people also wanting to lose weight postpartum because it's low impact. I also did that program while I was pregnant. I was kind of all over with programs, but it's 9 months. Like, that's a really long time to work out, right? Especially low impact. And Pump is also good for someone who is a runner or cross training, in my opinion, especially if they're training for marathon or different events like that, because you're not working out 5 to 6 days a week. There are specific, schedules where you are just supposed to do 30 minutes or 45 minutes of walking, which I think can easily kind of be paired into a runner's training schedule. I was a runner in college and have done a few marathons. This program would work really well, in my opinion, doing something like that. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else about Pump and the trainers are all really attractive. So that's always a good selling point, I guess. Brazil butt lift, I have not done this one. I personally would only recommend it. Obviously, I have not done it, and I haven't had any customers buy it. I take that back. I have one coach who bought it, and she really liked it. But he is a trainer for the Victoria's Secret models. Obviously, they have pretty nice backsides. And I think there's also supposedly, it's focused on saddlebags, on hips, thighs, and core, which that's a problem for most women, right? So there is some cardio involved in there. Most of it is just focused in that area. So if someone's trying to specifically focus on that area, that's a way to recommend. But again, these programs, they range in time, from 30 minutes up to, 55, 60 minutes. And, I feel like because so many of our programs are moving to that shorter time limit, it's harder to ask someone to take an hour to work out and get similar results to only in a half an hour. And so I tend to not recommend the programs that are longer like that anymore, just because so many of our customers are wanting to get great results in less time. So this would only be for a specific example, the Brazil butt lift. That was the programs, the actual fitness programs that I wanted to touch on today. I wanted to talk also about the 2 cleanses that we do, just because I think they're also good options for our customers. The first is 3-day refresh. If you don't know anything about it, it's 3 days. It comes with Shakeology, another Fiber Sweet packet, and then another packet there's the Fiber Boost, and then there's the Sweet. And what's different about the 3-day refresh compared to a lot of other popular cleanses on the market is you actually get to eat food. They give you very specific things like 8 asparagus spears and things like that. I have personally not been able to do the 3-day refresh because I've been pregnant or nursing, which in my opinion, you should not be doing this, the 3-day refresh. If you're in any one of those situations, I did see a coach post a schedule about how she nursed and did the 3-day refresh, but she totally did an entire different meal plan, just because it's only 900 calories, and that's not adequate as far as nursing supply goes. But the other difference, typically when people do cleanses or fasts, you lose muscle instead of fat, and so that's where that weight doesn't stay off. The difference with what our program does is because you are given that protein, you don't have that muscle loss. I think most juice cleanses, I looked this up, but they range from $50 to $70 a day, while this program is about $20 a day for the complete kit. So it's still saving people money in that sense. The Ultimate Reset, I feel like every year Carl does it, and that's when we get the big push of it. That's when it's on sale. Sarah can maybe chime in and tell us when it is. I feel like it's in the spring potentially, but it's 21 days. It has 6 different types of supplements to kind of take your body through a complete cleanse, like it's a complete cellular cleanse. And they also give you full support on videos of how to make each meal. It's very specific with your meal plan also. And most people, on the 3-day refresh, it's only recommended to have light activity. The ultimate reset is basically they recommend no exercise, just because you're completely resetting your body in that sense. As coaches, I feel like it's important also to kind of do your research on 2 other supplements that we have, which is called Energy and Endurance, E&E is for short, or R&R, which is basically a recovery type of drink. So E&E is what you take about 30 minutes before your workout, and it's a way to kind of give you that extra boost. So if someone is struggling to push play because they're sore, they're halfway through their workout program, or they're struggling to find that motivation. For me personally, when I take it, all of a sudden it's like just that boost of energy, like, oh, I can go work out now. There's really no reason to not start. You almost feel like, oh my gosh, if I don't work out, where's this energy going to go? Which is great. And it also will help you get through without as much fatigue during the program. And then the R&R formula, it tastes really good. It kind of tastes like an orange creamsicle. And it's a way to help with that soreness afterwards, to help your muscles repair better. And I think many coaches that I know that are regularly doing these workouts, they enjoy R&R too. The low impact programs, I touched on this earlier, but the low impact programs I like to recommend are 21-day fix. I feel like it's a good fit for so many different people. I think max 30 is for people who maybe were athletes before or had that fitness before, but may have bad knees or a bad back. Max 30 would be what I would suggest for that. And then PiYo is obviously the last option that just because they all have modifiers. If you have a customer who says that, if they throw something at you that you've never heard of before, it's totally okay to say, I'm not sure, I'll get back to you, and then rush over to Team Bodyburn and ask a question in there. I feel like we have such a great support system, and we get people who have so much information, and one of us has had to hear something from someone, as far as a random customer with some interesting, unique stories. So I would personally run over there and ask, and someone will answer you. I keep saying because I think that's where I'm at. Shakeology, I think I also wanted to touch on that and maybe a different call about adding value of Shakeology to our programs. I know Carl's talked about it, and there are some other really great YouTube videos on it, but it's another whole situation that, our 4 pillars of success are, our nutrition, our program, support, and rewards. And being able to touch on all 4 of those pillars is the way that we're really going to help our customers get the right product for themselves, for their goals, and that's what we're here for. So I know we can do it, right? Alrighty, ladies, I am going to take you off mute now, or if you have any questions, just kind of punch them in below. Is there anything else I should touch on? What do you think? How'd I do?
Good.
Oh, thanks. Just rambled. So, anything else to talk about?
I have a question.
Okay, who's talking?
I was, maybe.
Oh, Hampton. Hi.
What do you think the difference is between is there a huge difference between the 21-day fix meal plan containers, etc., as there is, or to the max 30? Like, is the nutrition really quite similar, or?
It's the same portion controlled containers, according to what I've read, but she has honed it or pared it way back. Like, there aren't as many yellow containers is what I've read. Sarah can probably touch on it more. I don't know if they've touched on the nutrition and what they've shared with you guys, but like no wine, no chocolate.
She means Insanity Max, I think.
Insanity
Max 30.
Oh, not
between 21 day fix and max 30.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Wrong answer. I don't feel like there's that much of a difference. There is one less yellow container that I've seen for max 30. And I feel like it's a little bit more it seems like more true to life, at least the Max 30. I think they possibly have learned from the nutrition guideline and the 21-day fix, and then they took that and made it more user-friendly for customers using Max 30. So it has a whole program guide about how to eat out at like Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's and random places that you would obviously never tell your customers to really eat out at. But it's like, if you don't have time to cook, or if you're stuck in a situation, here's some great solutions for you where you won't totally screw things up. And that's nice. And then it also goes through a little more in depth with easier recipes on how to stay within the meal guidelines. I like the Max 30 guidelines a little bit better than the 21-day fix. I feel like it's more kind of comprehensive for all meals. So, does that answer?
So if someone were to order just the containers, because I think what you can buy those for like $17 or something, right. Does it come with some sort of, meal plan or instructions, or?
We just talked about in our leaders group, and I'm pretty sure the cost is like $40. Is that what we talked about, Sarah? And I think you get the containers and like a nutrition guideline, but it's not the Max 30 and it's not the 21-day fix. You can add on the containers to a workout program for that $17. And the Max 30 comes with everything about the containers, how to use the containers, and just that additional cost.
Okay, that's what I was curious about, because I saw that you could get the containers themselves, and I thought, about talking to people about buying those containers, but I didn't know if there was a guideline as to how to use them with the program that they buy. If they were to buy, IO or something.
Right. I mean, so I know that you can add it on to any challenge pack, but obviously like something like PIO doesn't have, their nutrition guideline doesn't come with, the explanation of the containers. I'm
right.
sure they, have something included if you include it with the pack, because it's. Anyone else? What else can I touch on? Anyone else have random questions for me?
I have a question about Max 30.
Okay.
Is it 30 days long or 30-minute workout?
30-minute workouts, and it's 60 days long.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes, go for it.
You said that Max 30 is mostly low impact. Would you say that one is safe for pregnancy, like during all trimesters, or?
So if someone asks you that, like, work out with, during my pregnancy, I always put the caveat, like, I recommend you talk to your healthcare provider. Just because you don't know the whole myriad of issues that go into their, into their health issues that they may have either formerly or currently during this pregnancy. I think for me, and for probably many of my pregnant customers, Max 30 would be great if you follow the modifier. In general, you should never, I take it, never is not. You should try to refrain from, doing recumbent exercises where you're laying on your back, or if you're trying to, do crunches to the side. If someone, someone can ask you if they have questions about how to modify during pregnancy, but in general, that's the only thing that I feel like wouldn't work well is the abs section. And my trick for that, when I recommend people, if they tell you to do ab stuff laying down, tell them to stand up and do the same moves. Because when you're pregnant, it's okay, to raise your leg and to crunch to the side, but laying on your back and doing that stuff isn't considered good health. Yeah, but I think it'd be good. I would do it while pregnant.
Thanks, baby.
No. Thanks.
Tamsin, I just want to tell you that it's FAQ 3565 for the portion fix. And so that hopefully it will have all the details that you need for adding that on.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I missed that part really quick. If you do want specific things about each program, I'm not sure if all of you know how to get there, but you go into your Coach Online office, go under the marketing tab, and then product toolkit, and you select the program that way. And it has all the talking points, all the FAQs. You can find very specific things in there if you want to compare that way too.
And the videos are big too. I watch those videos. Like, I've never done Chalene Extreme or Turbo Fire, and so you can watch those videos in the Coach Online office or on YouTube and get a good feel for what the program's about, and it usually kind of takes you through, you know, some of the moves and who all's in it and the music and that kind of thing.
Great. Does everyone know how to send videos from their coach online office? Do you know how to do that? So basically, once you go into that program and you go into product toolkits, it's considered. And I'll pull it up as we talk here. But basically, it's called the promo video, and it'll take you to the video page, and there's an option to share and copy link. And if you send that link to someone, that's the video library. It's your specific link to your business. So if someone watches it and chooses to buy, it will be linked back to you. Another way you can do that is through coachingcodes.com, which hopefully you guys all know how to use. There's videos in there for all the programs, but using it from your coach online office, those are specified to you once you're logged in. So that's another option as far as, you know, sharing what you're doing with other people, with your customers. Was this helpful? was it okay? I just started going, and then, you know, I feel like I may have lost track, but any feedback for me?
I thought it was good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, I thought it was really good. I'm curious to know what else people want to hear about.
Right.
Like on additional calls, like what other topics do you feel? I think this is a great starting topic, because to have success with your business, you need to be a product of the product, but you also need to know our products. So I think this was a great start, especially when you're just getting started with one program like 21 Day Fix. You don't really know what else is out there and all that. So this is great to learn about that.
Lauren gave me 3 other ideas. Lauren's on the call. She's
Okay.
like ready to run with a bunch of topics. But anyone else have anything else that they think we could talk about for 20 or 30 minutes that you'd love to know more about? Anyone?
About Shakeology, maybe.
A Shakeology, like
Shakeology, and what? I get a lot of questions all the time that I don't know how to answer. Like, what's in it? There's whey in it? Gluten free and all that.
I know Wendy's the queen of answering those questions in our group.
Yeah.
probably. It's funny. Thank you. Probably because I was just so hesitant to try it. Like I was on we only eat holistic, organic, you know, traditionally prepared foods only in our home. And when my friend told me about it, I was like, no, there's no way I'll ever, you know, use that stuff, because it's whatever. And I finally took the time and looked into it. And obviously I think it's a wonderful alternative if you can't eat, you know, fresh fruits and vegetables from your backyard that are organically grown every day, which who can, right? So yeah, I think a Shakeology one would be terrific. Jackie, have you looked in the coaching codes and watched any of those videos in there?
I watched a few, yeah.
Okay, I think
I more need to watch that.
the ones that I love and that I probably send the most are the 100 Doctors Don't Lie. I think that's a really great one. The Tony Checks Out Shakeology. That one's a little funny and like, you know, off the cuff, but he goes through all the different things that are in there.
Okay.
And then another was the Shakeology, the ingredients from around the world, where they actually show, you know, Darren Olean, who helped make Shakeology, where he went to all over the world to find the best ingredients and why he chose those. So those are the ones I use the most. And I think, yeah, adding value.
Can I send those to customers?
Yes, I do. You know, I try to get a feel for, you know, if someone says, oh, it's too expensive. I think that Tony Checks Out Shakeology is a really good one, because he's actually in like a grocery store checking out kind of lane. And it comes up to like $730. I mean, some exorbitant price to pay for all of the ingredients that are in Shakeology. That's a good one for the price of
Yeah. And I think in the Team Bodyburn group, if it's not there, I'll go post it right now. But I have an objections to Shakeology and challenge. I think it's either Shakeology and or challenge packs template thing that kind of goes through some of the questions like that. So I'll post that too in there and tag you in it, Jackie.
Yeah, that document in Bodyburn is awesome. Like it goes through. I do have one more thing. Once I finish this thought, don't let me forget. But basically, it goes through all these different objections, and it's someone talking about how much value Shakeology is. I mean, It's amazing. It's really well written. It can give you very easily, easy answers to respond point by point to almost any Shakeology objection you may get. I love it. Okay, so at my Super Saturday this weekend, there was a coach there, and her husband is a chemist, and she asked Jeff Hill, she said, I just wanted to let everyone here know my husband brought Shakeology into the lab, and obviously this will never be official, but it tested out as organic. So Jeff said, yes, we know Shakeology is organic, but because it's from all over the world, we can't claim that it's organic. We can't have it certified organic. So if someone says, oh, Shakeology isn't organic, you can say, no, it's not proven organic, but it has been tested in a lab, by a personal chemist, and it did come out, organic in that sense. So like I said, you can't make that claim. You can't say it cures diseases or that it is certified organic or gluten-free or anything like that. But you can give personal stories like that to be able to help potentially, sell or share Shakeology with other people.
Is it soy protein in the vegan Shakeology?
We have no soy. Yucky stuff. No way.
Well, that's what I was wondering. What's the difference? What's the different protein in the regular versus the vegan?
So there are actually, I know of 5 personal. So there's pea, sasha inchi, there's brown rice, there's, I can look it up really quick, but there are actually, I don't even have my vegan bag with me, but we don't use soy, and there are 5 different types of vegan proteins in it.
Okay.
Vegan proteins. And to find out that stuff, Lauren, you can always, just jump on Shakeology.com. There's some really great information in there. There's a blog. There's really good pictures. If you want to share about Shakeology, a couple times a week, there's some easy stuff and there's recipes on there and stuff like that to kind of get people interested. Let's see. Vegan plant-based protein. So
The FAQs are huge too. You can type in Shakeology organic and it'll pull up like the exact verbiage that Wendy just said. I use those every single day. So they have a lot of, and they are constantly updating them too, corporate. So.
Okay, so it's GMO-free oat protein, pea rice protein, the sasha inchi, and what's the last one that I said? Oh, quinoa. So those are the proteins that they use in there. The whey obviously is in the regular formula, but there's a whole blog post that Carl Deichler did called We Go Both Ways, WHEYS, where he talks about where our whey is sourced from and how they do their best basically to find sustainable resources using that whey protein.
Can I ask a different question?
Yeah, please.
Has anybody ever used any of the other supplements? So I thought I saw something like a snack bar and then vitamin mixes and stuff like that on there, but I've never heard anything about any of them.
Well, so I personally have not used either of those. Yes, we do have protein bars, and we also have a supplement called Activit, which is like a multivitamin. My keyword that I use to help, tell people about Shakeology is called bioavailability. Basically, where everything in Shakeology is a real food product, so your body recognizes it better than anything chemically produced. But in that sense, not everyone can take Shakeology for whatever reasons. There's different reasons why people can't take Shakeology. And so Activate would be another option if someone is allergic to something or, for whatever reason. So you can look that up in the FAQ. Yes, it's like a multivitamin. It's what Beachbody makes. Sarah, you like the protein bars, or do you not? You eat other?
I stopped eating those. They were kind of hurting my tummy, but I know that some people love them and swear by them. They have a lot of sugar, so I try to watch my sugar, but they're really good.
Yeah. And just a little side note. it seems like whenever I have customers that have poor customer service experience, they can ask, to speak to a manager, and if there's anything else they can give them, and typically they will give them some of those protein bars. So that is just an option to kind of mention, if it ever comes up and a customer is struggling with customer service, they could get some free protein bars out of the deal.
Happened today, so.
Oh, yeah, it's something I know. I mean, it seems like this comes up a lot, our customer service, but I know it's a work in progress. Like, did anyone jump on the Carl Deichler call with Janelle Summers?
No, I missed it.
Well, it's a good one to listen to because someone actually brought that up. Like, when is our customer service going to get better? And he just talked about, how we had hired the American Express, someone who used to be in charge of the American Express customer service now works for us. And it's not like tomorrow it's better. They have to hire more qualified people. They have to train them. And every day will get better, but it's going to be a process. So if you want to learn more about that, it will be in the Team Hardcore calls. So that's another option. You can listen to that call just to hear any updates from Carl.
I'm gonna call it again, Judge. Yes.
Any other?
I have a video call idea. Only because I was looking through. I'm a little obsessed with Amy Silverman, and she said something, and I remember hearing about it in one of the wake up calls, talking about a second business center.
Okay.
I have no idea what that was, and I would also like a better, because I'm still so confused about like the team bonuses and rank, like where to put people when you have new coaches. Like that Lindsay Matway video is great, but just a little bit more help would be great.
Of course, Mallory, and the thing is, like, I mean, Sarah can touch on this too, but there is no right way to do it, which is confusing. I think the more I learn, and Sarah's obviously taught me a lot too, trying to get your spouse or significant other on that weak leg, on the outside of your weak leg in that first spot is probably a really great first step to make. And then everything else is kind of, you play it by ear. And at the end of the day, someone that you think might be your rock star coach isn't, so it's a situation of, trying to balance it out. And, you want obviously to get to diamond, you need an emerald on each leg and 4 coaches total on each leg. So that's something I personally recommend for my coaches to talk to me before they do any placement all the way up until they're at least diamond rank. And I'm still, I'll be a 2-star diamond tomorrow. Woohoo. 2-star qualifier. And I still talk to Sarah all the time about, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Where do I put this person? A CBC, a second CBC is a business center. Once you become a 2-star diamond, you are allowed to open up another business center under yourself, basically. So Sarah has another business center. It's your second CBC is what they call it. And we can talk more about that. I think we should do a call on coach placement and CBCs. But at the end of the day, it's kind of a one-on-one Zoom call situation where I look at your downline with you, we go through it together, and we kind of problem solve and troubleshoot and just kind of guesstimate where we should put the next person. It is an individualized kind of, process.
Okay.
Yeah. But we can do a call on that. I think it's a great idea.
I do too. Yeah.
Anyone else have any ideas that you just feel like aren't touched on enough, or some way to help your business move forward?
Is there any help for technologically illiterate people? That's me.
Yeah.
That's me too, so you're not alone.
Yeah, like a Facebook tutorial about like where to find things, how to set things up. That would be awesome. Because I feel like I have great ideas and I'm like, it takes me 20 minutes to do anything and it gets annoying.
You're not alone. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I actually have been just talking with another one of my coaches today. Like, how do I do a like page? Okay, well, we can start with step 1, but it's, something, if we had a really, easy to follow kind of guide like that, I think it would be, you're right, it would help a lot of people. And then they could just watch that video for half an hour instead of trying to talk to their coach for 2 hours about the same thing.
Right.
Like, Sarah, you did something.
And then it was hard for me to duplicate too.
Yeah, I think Tara's in there. I have a Facebook like.
Oh yeah, the one-on-one.
Mhm.
Maybe
The
I should
hard
look
thing
at
with Facebook is that it's always changing, and so we can't like. I would do a video on it, but then a couple months down the road, everything would be
Different.
different. So it's really hard to do. So that's what makes it so hard to understand, I think, is because it's just always changing. But if you write some, like send Wendy or I some specifics of like what you're struggling with on Facebook, then we can do a call on that because, I mean, some stuff is pretty, like it's going to stay the same.
Okay.
But yeah.
And I feel like
anyone needs an.
Go ahead, Sarah.
No, go ahead.
I feel like Shailene and some of the other like social media gurus, they kind of keep us up to date. Like they'll do these, 30-minute trainings or things to jump on. And usually someone on our team will either purchase that or be a part of it. Like Sarah was part, at Platinum Edge. She went to, Shailene's training about social media there. And she has a whole thing that she gave us her notes on that. It's a video that she did. So that's something, if you want that, all you have to do, I guess, is just ask. And that's the most up-to-date we have. And it's coming from someone who trains people about social media. So that's, that's where we learn from too. Just ask and then watch that. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, the other topics, just quickly to see if there's anything you'd be interested in. Adding value to challenge packs. How do you add value of yourself as a coach? How do you add value in Shakeology while you're trying to sell a challenge pack? That was one of Lauren's ideas. Inviting. Obviously, this is something we all struggle with from day one all the way up through, people who are top coaches. And then reverse engineering your income and rank. I feel like I've seen a couple good videos on that, and if we could kind of walk through it just for our team, that'd be another good option. So those are Lauren's ideas. Tamsin, I think one of those might have been yours as far as income goes. Well, yeah, if you ladies have anything else, just either message us or post it in Bodyburn, and we'll figure it out. But I'd like to do one of these like once a week. Sarah, what do you think? Like, do you think we could try to do it?
Yeah, I think so. And we've got a lot of content too. I think what to post on Facebook, like Facebook content is another good one that I get a lot. So I think we have a lot of topics that we can jump on. I think once a week would be very beneficial.
Today's Wednesday, right? It's like, I don't even know what day it is. Is this Wednesday night at 10 o'clock work in general? Or, I mean,
Yes.
most people will be able to get on? Okay. Well, it's not going to be hard and fast at this point, but we're trying. We're trying to make something regular from this. So we'll see where it goes. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes, Tamsin.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wendy.
Were you saying that the reverse engineering that you were going to do one of these about that, or that it was Avery was crying at the time, so I didn't catch what you were saying.
So my new coach crush, Micah Folsom. If any of you want to look her up, she's my new coach crush, and she has one about reverse engineering diamond in 60 days, which you can easily do the same thing with your income. It's just you doing that while listening to her YouTube video. I also think we can do one too. We can talk about, if there's a certain income goal you want to hit or a certain rank, which they kind of have to go together, especially in general, they do have to go together. But to get to diamond, I don't know if most of you know this, but it's like you can max out as an emerald at what a week, Sarah? Like 200 a week? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then as a diamond, you can max out at 2,000 a week. So there's like this huge income difference as far as for your team bonus. Right. So, I mean, just getting to diamond really should be that level that you're pushing for, because your business can just explode at that point. I mean, making 2,000 a week, pretty nice, huh? So that's the goal once you hit emerald. So there you go. That's a good one too. Okay. Well, thank you. Just ask us if you have any questions, and we're here. I appreciate it. Good jumping on.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Wendy.
Have a good week.
You too.
Hey.
Have a good one.